Mike, for the chipping session, I first had you chip using your current technique. I didn't make any adjustments in how you chipped. Um, and this is the result of 5 chips. You were trying to go to the flag that's in the blue circle, and you had 5 different results. A couple of them were quite a bit quite far away from the flag. One was pretty short, and then you had 2 that was somewhat close. And this was the club that you were the most comfortable using. The first lesson that we really reviewed was club selection. So one of the ways that you can improve your score, even if you don't improve your technique, is to choose clubs that give you a better percentage of opportunity of getting the ball close. And this is a result of using your pitching wedge. We were hitting from the mode area, the fringe area, cut close to the height of a fairway. So this is what we call a tight lie, and this is the result. And so what I suggested is for you to use your putter and see how good that would go. And I'm a big believer in testing, not just guessing what club would be best, but through your own personal experience, test and find out what would be the best club to use for certain shots. And this was the result of using your putter, and it was obviously a very tight grouping. They were close to the hole, and it was a club that you don't normally use when you're off the green. You have said you do occasionally, but your tendency was to always go to a pitching wedge or a gap wedge, or you mentioned a 7, I think 7 or 8 iron. Those are still possibly good choices, but you need to always first consider the putter when the ball is sitting in the mode area, the fringe area, or the fairway cut. Now, if it's in thicker grass, you would not use the putter. But you know when you use your putter, you're going to hit the ball solid. You just have to guess how hard to hit it. But when you pick a pitching wedge or something like that, you still have to guess how hard to hit it, but you also have to hope you hit it solid, in which you did not always do. When we moved back to the thicker grass, you were using your pitching wedge, and I suggested using your sand wedge. The sand wedge would allow you to carry the ball onto the green without it rolling too far. Now let's look at some of the missing fundamentals in your chip and pitch technique. The most important first fundamental all players need to learn in order to improve their chipping and pitching is to hit the ball on the downswing and not the upswing. Your club is going to swing on an arc. As the club swings toward the ball, it is going to be going down, then reach its lowest point, and then swing up. In order to hit the ball on the downswing, you must place the low point of your arc in front of the ball. The red circle shows where the ball was, and the blue arrow shows the low point of the swing. Think of your swing as a giant hula hoop, and where the hoop is touching the ground is the low point. That point must be in front of the ball. In order to position the low point in front of the ball, the pros set up to the ball before they chip or pitch differently than any other shot they have in golf. This is Jim Furyk, seen from behind and face on. He has his feet very close together, closer than he would have his feet for any other shot he would have in golf. In order to put the low point of his swing in front of the ball, he must put the majority of his body and weight in front of the ball. This is best accomplished with the feet together. This allows him to comfortably put more weight on his front foot, which moves the center of his body mass in front of the ball and the low point of his swing arc in front of the ball. Jim also positions his hands in front of the ball at the setup, which leans the shaft towards the target. The blue line is the shaft of the club, and the red arrow shows the position of his hands. This also helps position the low point of the arc in front of the ball and promotes a downward strike on the ball during impact. All pros demonstrate these same important setup fundamentals of the chip and pitch. On the left is Rory McIlroy, on the right is Matt Kuchar. Feet close together, hands in front of the ball. Another important fundamental of a good setup is to have the arms extended without a bend in the left elbow. This creates a constant radius of the swing arc, so the arc doesn't change its measurement from the ground. Annika Sorensen on the left, Tiger Woods on the right, feet close together, hands in front of the ball, weight forward and arms extended. Jordan Spieth on the left, Luke Donald on the right. All pros demonstrate these same important fundamentals. Feet close together, weight on left side, hands in front of the ball, arms extended. On the left was your setup before I made any adjustments, and let's look at it compared to Rory McIlroy. Roy has his feet very close together. His right arm is very straight. It's in line with the shaft of the club. Your feet are apart and you have a bent right arm. So you want to have extended arms when you set up, and you want to have your feet closer together so you can put more weight on your front foot. This is Tiger, extended arms, hands in front of the golf ball, leaning to the target, weight on his front foot. This is a common setup fundamental with all the pros. On the right is the change that we made in your setup. Feet are closer together, your arms are extended, you have more weight on your front foot. So you need to get comfortable with that setup. You need to consciously think about that fundamental before you hit your chip shots on the golf course. Don't just grab a club and think about the shot. You're going to have to train this setup. Training means you have to consciously think about each of these elements and make sure that you repeat those elements every time. After a while, your body will accept this change and you will naturally set up like this. It'll be comfortable to set up like this. Then you have trained it. It's finished. The work is done. But that takes a while. So you're going to have to consciously put your attention on all of these elements and make sure that you repeat it every single time. Just softly back. Okay, keep working with that. Nice. In our introductory session on chipping, we focused first on what club to choose for the shot. When the ball is in the short grass, you now know that often the putter is the right choice. When the ball is in the longer grass, you should go with the sand wedge or lob wedge more often than the pitching wedge. As far as your chip and pitch technique, I did not change the way you swung the club, but only changed how you set up before you swung the club. The next time we have an opportunity to work on your short game, I need to show you the correct fundamentals of the chip and pitch swing. I have paused this swing just after impact, and you can see that you hit the ball by flipping your wrist. You can see how your right hand stops at impact, and you flip the club forward with the left hand. The chipping and pitching swing is a body swing. We don't just keep our body still and flip the club through the ball with our hands. When Tiger sets up, he has his arms extended and his hands are right in front of his chest. When he has impact, he returns to that position. But he swings everything, his chest and arms connected through the ball. And when he gets to his finishing position, he's in the same position that he started with. Arms extended, hands in front of the chest. You can see that when you chip, you just flip the club through the ball, cupping the back of your right wrist. And so the next time we have an opportunity to work on this, I'll show you the technique of swinging your chest and arms as a connected unit.